Congratulations, you're now a mother. Right when you hear these words, the very next step that the pediatricians, the neonatologists, the lactation consultants will tell you is that you have to exclusively breastfeed for the next 6 months. 6 months of exclusive breastfeeding. Sounds easy, right? It looks really easy when you see anyone else do it. It should be easy. But guys, there are things that make life difficult and there are things that make life easy. I wanted to make this video because it's something that I have definitely gone through and it is something that almost nobody talks about. I wonder why. I wonder if it is so important, why no one talks about it. One, because it's quite personal. Second, because there is a whole load of guilt associated with it. Again, I wonder why. Whether you breastfed your child or you didn't, really, it doesn't matter. I hope that in the long run, you do believe that it doesn't matter. What I'm trying to say is that please don't feel guilty about it. I know that breastfeeding comes with a lot of advantages and the clinical guidelines recommend it. I recommend it too, but I do believe that every mother and every child is different. I know that there are women who breastfed exclusively for 6 months. I know women who did a combination of formula and breastfeeding for 6 months. I know women who did only formula for 6 months. I know women who started solids early, maybe at around 3-4 months, and all their children look just fine. Today, I'm not here as a pharmacologist, but really as a mother of two. My children are now 9 and 4. I'm not in the breastfeeding stage anymore, but it's something that I remember very, very distinctly and want to talk about it. I think we need to do more. So as soon as your child is delivered, it's good to see if the child can have a proper latch. The latch in terms of breastfeeding definitely helps. There are videos here on YouTube that you can find and you'd be able to help yourself. If you can get nurses and lactation consultants, I think that would definitely help and it is something that is recommended. So what is recommended in terms of breastfeeding? Yes, clinical guidelines recommend exclusive feeding for 6 months. If you can do it, it would provide good antibodies. But as I said, please do not feel guilty if you did a combination of breastfeeding and formula, or you did only formula or some other combination. It is just fine. Either way, when you're doing exclusive feeding or any other means of feeding your child, make sure that you have regular trips to the pediatrician so that the pediatrician can tell you that the two most important parameters which you should follow for the first 6 months are urinary output and weight gain. If those two things look good and the child looks good to the pediatrician, don't worry about anything else. People will tell you that your milk supply is not enough. But if these two parameters look good, you're more than likely good. People will tell you that supplementing with formula is extremely important. Take it with a pinch of salt, follow your pediatrician's advice, and I think that would be the best way to go. On the flip side, if you're doing only formula or a combination of formula and breast milk, people will tell you, oh my God, you have to breastfeed. Again, follow your case and your pediatrician's advice, and that would be the best thing to do. Does the milk supply get delayed if you have a C-section? Most women have told me that it takes about 2 to 3 days for the milk supply to come. Some say that it took about a week for the milk supply to come. If it's taking you about a week to 10 days and you have some help either from nurses or lactation consultants or even from good well-wishers around you who've done this in the past and are not stressing you out, then you're in good hands. Just keep trying and you'll be fine. And during that time, if you have to supplement with formula, that's totally fine. There are ethnicities and cultures all over the world who do a few other things during the first few days. These are not modern medicine clinically approved or anything, but I think a lot of cultures have a lot of good input and things to be done. The most important thing is when you begin feeding your child, please ensure that you have a proper latch. There are other videos on YouTube. This is not the place for it, to see how you can get a proper latch. And believe me, once you get it, you just get it. Maybe it takes about a couple of weeks to better it, but that's about it. The second thing that I want to tell you is if your milk supply is taking few days to come, please don't stress out. It's really important to not stress out. The stress will further delay the supply. That's not something you want. Just know that it's common, it's normal, it's natural, and it happens to everybody. If it's a little longer than a week to 10 days, it's probably fine. Just keep asking an expert and you will be okay along the way. While breastfeeding, make sure your posture is good. Women have come out and said that the lactation pillow really helped them because it helped keep the back straight and it really helped in terms of holding the child, so the weight was much less. Remember guys, breastfeeding really looks easy, but it's not. It's something that takes a lot away from you. And just remember that if you want to do this for your child, again, no judgment either way, because either way is fine and different things work for different people. Just go ahead and do it. Make yourself comfortable because it would make the child comfortable and feeding easier. Does diet affect breastfeeding? Modern medicine says that you can eat what you want, and as long as you have an overall healthy diet, you'd be fine. But there are regions and cultures all over the world that stress on certain things, on certain food items to be included while you're feeding your child. Garlic and black pepper is one of them. Dill leaves, people are big on it in certain areas. Fresh coconut, again, people are big on it in certain countries, in certain areas. I've heard that having a glass of milk every day helps. Having some homemade paneer or homemade cottage cheese helps a lot. These are all anecdotal and evidences and stories that have been passed down generations, but I do think that it has helped a lot of women. In a case like breastfeeding, where there isn't enough data out there and enough people aren't talking about it, I think that incorporating these things which have passed down generations in your family is not a bad idea. In fact, I think it's a good idea. It might help overall. It might not help overnight, but within a couple of weeks, you will see your milk supply increasing and becoming better. Another famous anecdote that I heard, which I thought was very interesting, and I'd not heard it anywhere else, is that if you're up almost all night feeding your child, which does end up happening often with lots of women and lots of children, ensure that you get a quality midnight snack, which is full of good fats and something that can be a lactagogue, something that can be producing more milk in the body. So when I used to be up with my second child, I did get a midnight snack with good qualities, maybe nuts, some milk, so that my morning breast milk would be better for the child. I'm always tired. I just had a child. I'm feeding. I should feel all this joy. What is happening with me? Why am I not feeling it? This is also normal and natural. You're probably not stressed or depressed, but you're just tired and fatigued. You just had a child. That's a big deal. You will feel certain moments of joy, but you will also feel certain moments of fatigue. As I said, breastfeeding looks easy. It's not. It's really not. It takes a lot away from you. I remember mothers telling me that my child feeds non-stop and I barely get the time to make it to the restroom or take a bath or get myself ready. It's just non-stop feeding and I don't know what to do. These things do happen. Believe me, they're real. If you're feeling tired, if you're feeling fatigued, or if you're feeling like banging your head, or what did I get myself into, it's normal. The joy will come and it will come later. Just stick with it. If you're one of those who feels like you want to breastfeed 90% of the times, but a one time it needs to go with the formula milk so that somebody else can give it to the child, go right for it. Other women choose to pump. They choose to pump milk through a breast pump, and then store it. The only thing is that this involves a lot of extra steps like cleaning the pump and making sure that the bottles and things are sterilized. If you can do all those steps, and I know it sounds easy in this video, but believe me, it's a lot of steps when you've just had a child, then that's fine too. You can store breast milk, you can pump it, and then give it to the child. It would probably help out. If formula is your answer, 1 or 2 feeds can be formula. Again, don't beat yourself up. It's okay. Really, the combinations work. Make sure you're following with your pediatrician in terms of urinary output and weight gain of the child. If those things are fine and the pediatrician feels that the child is doing fine, whatever combination you are using is working just fine. What should I follow? Direct breastfeeding or use a pump? Direct breastfeeding is easier, especially if you have the latch established. Yes, the dependency on you, the mother, will increase, but the hospital grade pump or any pump will just make it twice the effort, in the sense that you actually have to pump, you actually have to clean the equipment, you actually have to sterilize. But the good thing about pumping is that somebody else can now give it to the child while you're away. That means you get a break, you get to go to the bathroom, you actually get to take a bath, you probably get to do your postnatal exercises. So yes, a combination of pumping and direct feeding works, but I think as people get better and better at feeding, then direct breastfeeding is easier because you don't have to buy a pump, you don't have to clean the equipment, you don't have to sterilize. Sterilization of the equipment does take a long time. So yes, direct breastfeeding is the way to go, especially as you approach 5th month or 6th month. On a personal level, I did rent a hospital grade pump. In this part of the world where I stay, you can rent pumps. And then you can give it back. You can buy the tubing and the equipment yourself. And once you pump, you can give it either through a bottle, not recommended by modern medicine, or you can give it through a palade. A palade is just one of those steel spoons which are very small, somewhat sharp spout, so that the child can actually drink off it. It did help the first 3 to 4 months for the simple fact that somebody else could take the child, could feed the child while you took a bath and just took a break. One of the most important questions women have asked me is my child getting enough? Is my milk supply enough? What if my child's nutrition is getting affected because I am not giving him anything else except my breast milk? Your breast milk is probably enough, guys. It is ensured that when you exclusively breastfeed the child, then it is complete nutrition for the child. How would you monitor this? You would go to the pediatrician, and the pediatrician would monitor 2 most important things: weight gain and urinary output. Urinary output can be monitored at home because if you're not using diapers, then you have nappies, and then you know number of nappies that are getting used up or soiled or wet during the day. And if that's enough, according to your pediatrician, then the urinary output is good. For measuring weight, they do have neonatal scales which are designed to measure those few grams that they gain every week, and it does help. If those 2 parameters are good, urinary output and weight gain of the child, your milk supply is probably enough. If you still feel that your child is constantly crying and in need of more, many women feel that, oh, even after feeding from both sides, my child still wants more, my child needs more. If that's the case and you feel calmer by supplementing formula once or twice a day, ask your pediatrician and just go for it. Again, no judgment here. Just do something that works for you. Overall, you and child should be fine and not overly stressed out. Does C-section delay milk supply? Whether you had a vaginal delivery or a C-section, sometimes the milk supply takes a couple of days to a week to actually come. In this interim period, you can supplement with formula, and please do not stress out. Stress is detrimental. It would further delay the milk supply. It's not something you want. Don't let others tell you that by this time, oh, it should have come. Don't let them guilt you into it. Your milk supply would come. Oftentimes, the supply comes on one side first. Again, do not feel nervous. This is also natural and normal. I wish more people talked about it. So in the interim, just supplement with formula whenever you get your supplies. Make sure you feed from the side which has the supply and the other side, because then the other side would also get the signal, hey, I have to actually work, and eventually you'd be able to feed from both sides. This is so difficult. Whenever I see other women feeding, it looks so easy. You've probably seen that woman in her 6th month. She's been doing it nonstop 20 times a day for 5.5 months. Yes, breastfeeding looks easy. It's really not. You have to get used to it over the first 2 months. And once you do, you've mastered that skill. You just have to do it multiple times a day because you and the child require it, and that's how it works. If you're feeling tired, it's normal. The child is taking a lot away from you. A lot of women lose weight while feeding the child. Also normal. If you don't lose your weight while feeding the child, please do not get worked up. That's also normal. Different women behave differently, and our bodies are just different. Just make sure you and the child get some kind of rest. I know it is difficult to mention rest at this time because there probably isn't too much rest, but whatever we can manage now and then is all worth it. To wrap it up, I wanted to make this video so that we have more people talking about breastfeeding. I feel like there aren't enough discussions on it. Whether you breastfed your child exclusively, whether you did a combination or you did not, this is not a judgment. Everybody is different and everybody has to see what works for them. Yes, breastfeeding is good in the sense that it gives certain antibodies and immunity to your child. But if you couldn't do it, please do not guilt yourself. It could happen to anybody.